Hello and welcome to Hoboken Terminal in Hoboken, New Jersey. In this video, we are going to be traveling from Hoboken Terminal all the way to Dover train station in Dover, New Jersey. It is 8:30 a.m. on Saturday, March 22nd. Let's get going. By train, this trip would take around 1.5 hours. As this is a weekend, you would have to take the Bay Street shuttle to transfer to a Dover-bound Morrison Essex Line train. However, by bus, this trip will take much, much longer. Our first bus ride of the journey will be on Route 22, though the 89 would work as well. Both of these routes run to North Bergen. However, the 22 takes a route via New York Avenue/Bergen Line Avenue, while the 89 goes straight up Park Avenue. We will be taking this bus to Union City to connect to the 191 or 195. Without further ado, let's get this trip started. It's going to be a long one. And we're off on the 22. It's 8:55 a.m. For this trip, we have bus number 6488 from New Jersey Transit's Meadowlands Bus Garage. In total, this trip should only take around 25 minutes. We're going to start by going down Washington Street, going up 14th, but instead of making a right on Willow Avenue like the 89 or the 126 does, we will continue up 14th Street to serve more of the local area in Union City. Here is the route you from the route 89. The 89 makes a right on Willow Avenue, while we will go straight to serve a few other areas before heading to Union City. So a bit hard to see, down below to the right is Academy Bus's Hoboken facility and the Hudson Bergen Light Rail. We have arrived in Union City. It is now 9:18 a.m. and we made the trip with minimal delays. Unfortunately, we now have to wait approximately 15 minutes before our next bus. Union City has many New Jersey Transit bus services alongside a Hudson Bergen Light Rail stop and pretty frequent jitney service along Bergen Line Avenue and New York Avenue. Union City can be a major connection point for many different routes, and unlike Port Authority Bus Terminal, you don't need an interstate bus ticket. While there is local service, New Jersey State Route 495 runs right through the town and is used by a lot of buses that do not go via Union City to get to Midtown Manhattan. Route 495 connects the New Jersey Turnpike/I-95, State Route 3, and US Route 19 to the Lincoln Tunnel. During the AM rush hour, one of the westbound lanes is turned into a special eastbound bus lane, sometimes known as the XBL, which leads directly to the center tube of the Lincoln Tunnel. Local bus service to New York runs along 30th Street, while local service from New York runs along 31st Street. In between those streets, a little bit down below, is Route 495. Some routes, such as the 123, 127, 154, and 159, do not stay along either of those roads for their entire time in Union City, as they turn away to serve more local areas. However, run-through service to or from other points, such as Jersey Gardens Mall, Newark, and Patterson, will always stay on 30th and 31st Streets. We are now on our next bus, the 195 to Willowbrook Mall. This route runs via Lyndhurst, Rutherford, Clifton, and Cedar Grove. This is a 2018 MCI D4500 CT, numbered 18002, located in New Jersey Transit's Wayne Garage. If this was a weekday, we would have to take the Route 192 bus to Allwood Parking Ride before connecting to a 191/195 to get to Willowbrook Mall. While that would be a fun way to make the trip longer, it is a weekend, so to get to the 192, as it does not do Union City on the weekends, I would have to take a 191 or 195 to Rutherford then wait for another 191 and 195 once I get to Allwood Park and Ride. While I love these inefficient transit rides, that would be a little bit too much. We ended up sitting at the Bergen Line Avenue stop for about 5 minutes as the bus was a little bit ahead of schedule. The timetable has the bus scheduled for a 10:13 a.m. departure from 31st Street and Bergen Line Avenue, which is why we had to wait. In more recent times, this stop has received one of the first digital bus signs outside of any major terminal. I think it's pretty cool, and if you have the time, I would definitely encourage you to go check it out. At 10:13 a.m., we are off to Willowbrook Mall. At Willowbrook Mall, we will have to connect to another, although more interesting, bus. We made it to Willowbrook Mall. It is now 11:07. From here, we will have to transfer to one of two buses which go to Morristown. The 871 runs from Willowbrook Mall to Morristown via a more local route, making more stops and better serving towns such as Wayne and Boonton. The 874 mostly sticks to making stops along US Route 46 before meeting back up with the 871 for the last leg of the journey into Morristown. Unfortunately, both of these routes have fairly low ridership and pretty bad frequency. However, Morris Garage, which does these routes, exclusively houses mini navvies, making these pretty fun to ride and photograph. We are off to Morristown at 8:70. Interestingly enough, the 874 leaves about 30 minutes after us, but only arrives to Morristown a mere 5 minutes later. We have one of the mini navvies, bus 1634, located in the Morris Garage. This route is one of the few which uses the shorter buses. I personally like to call them the mini navvies. The normal ones, like the one we had on the 22, are 40 feet long. However, the mini ones are roughly 32 feet long. The interior seats and rear design remind me more of an Excelsior than the rest of the navvies in the fleet. These, before the Excelsiors came out, were the only low-floor boarding local buses which New Jersey Transit had. Morris and Egg Harbor are the only garages which house these buses. In total, New Jersey Transit has 39 of these buses, with Morris Garage housing 26 and Egg Harbor housing 13. After doing our local deviations, we are now back together with the route of the 874. From here until Morristown, we go on the same routes. The 874 is about 5 minutes behind our 871. While not in this video, I have ridden the 874. It is a pretty fast-paced ride, especially compared to the 871. It is now 1:09 p.m. and we have arrived at Morristown Station. Our next trip will be on the route 880 with this bus right over here, bus number 1638, also out of Morris Garage. While I didn't have time to catch anything, since we are at the Morristown station, you can catch some good train action here. We have about a 15-minute wait before this 880 leaves towards Dover. While the 880 runs all the way to Rockaway Mall, we will be getting off in downtown Dover. I do think that it's funny that the bus has a sticker that says it connects to the Hudson Bergen Light Rail stations. As far as I know, these buses have never even been close in revenue service. I don't know why they have them, but it is definitely funny. At 1:30 p.m. we depart Morristown. It should only be about a 45-minute ride to Dover. These buses have a pretty fast acceleration, which makes for an especially fun ride. Here we are passing Denville. This route parallels the Morrison-Essex line from Morristown all the way to Dover. We are also passing the garage for Lakeland Bus. Lakeland does charter services as well as some commuter services with leased buses from New Jersey Transit. Right over here they have a couple of buses sitting out of service, some of which have now been returned to NJ Transit for use, and some which are now being used by Lakeland again. We made it to Dover at 2:12 p.m. Now we just have a short walk to the train station before we are done with this over 5-hour journey. Made it to Dover train station. Dover station is one of the terminus stations on the Morris and Essex lines. Some trains continue for about another 40 minutes to Hackettstown and will be stored in Port Morris Yard. On weekends, Dover is the last stop for all trains. Trains will lay over at Dover Yard before heading back to New York. Dover station sees one arrival and one departure per hour on weekends. There is some direct rail service to Hoboken on weekdays. On weekends, you would have to transfer at Newark Broad Street to the Bay Street shuttle. This journey by bus took over 3 times as long as it would by rail. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos like this one, let me know. I hope to make more of the Other Way videos soon.